Well, it's bad enough to have a concussion and have it affect your volleyball career. I think it's even worse when it happens to you and your sister. And that's the case with the Lunds, who join me now. Elizabeth Lund is a little bit younger. She's the one on the left in the red. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi.
And her older sister, Katherine, on the right. Well, Katherine, I assume you got your concussions first, so I'll let you begin. Tell us when that happened and how it happened, and just go from there.
Okay. I did. I got my concussions. I was hit consecutively 4 times over the period of 3 days in Colorado in February of 2016. I was playing in a qualifier in Colorado. And so the first day I was fine. I was playing and I dove off the court. And if you don't know what a volleyball gym looks like, but they have the sport court, and then right off of it is like convention center material. I don't even know how to explain it.
Cement floors usually.
Yeah, it's pretty much cement, and I dove off and kind of rolled off wrong, and there was kind of like a riser right next to me, and I just hit the back of my head, kind of on the cement right next to it, trying to miss the riser, and I came up and had a headache, but I was all right. I took some Tylenol and called it a day. I was all right. And so then the next day I was playing in the morning and I was diving for a ball and I dove into another girl on my team and I hit her hip bone on the left side of my face on like my cheek. And I bruised my face here, but it wasn't enough to be like, oh, I have a concussion. It was just kind of like, oh, I kind of have a black eye. So I still thought I was fine. We were doing all right, and we were actually winning in the tournament. We had a crossover that night to get into the gold bracket in the morning, and so I wanted to play at night, and I was feeling all right. I had a little bit of a headache, but I was okay. And so I was playing at 7 p.m. And I was a libero, so I was playing back row, and my block didn't go up, so I just kind of stood underneath the ball, hoping it would hit my platform and nowhere else, and I was drilled in the face by a ball really hard, and I flew backwards and fell down, and that one I had like a brief moment of like I kind of blacked out, so they pulled me out of the game really quickly, and I kind of sat down. I was super dizzy afterwards, and I had a headache. Um, and but that was we won that game. It was in the third set when I got hit, so we actually won that game. We were playing in the championships in the morning. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna ice. I'm gonna rest and see how I feel in the morning. And in the morning,
Well, let me ask you, at that point, did anybody realize that you had head injuries, and was
uh,
anybody attentive to it other than you?
yeah, my mom who was at home, I had called her and I was like, Mom, I got hit in the head really hard. What do I do? And she was like, go get checked out in the morning, and don't play if they tell you not to play. So I said, okay. And I went. My cousin was playing in the tournament too, and a dad on her team who was there was a doctor, and so he looked at me and he said, "Don't play. You have a concussion." And I said, "But we're in the championships. I need to play." Um, and so I iced all morning, and I kind of just sat there, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna play and not get hit in the head." And my coach agreed. We didn't have an athletic trainer on staff at this point, which was pretty crazy. But we didn't have one on staff, so it was kind of up to my coach and myself on whether or not I would play, and we decided to play. And I was diving for a ball, and another girl was diving for a ball, and she collided with my head with her hand, so I was kind of punched in the face.
No, you got hit again a fourth time?
Yeah,
Oh no!
I know. It makes me sound ridiculous because I
You at
definitely
least
should
get
have
out
stopped.
then? Were you finally finished?
Yeah, so then I was totally out of it. I kind of blacked out, and then once I got up, I thought it was my turn to serve, and I just kind of went back to serve, and we hadn't even won the point, and it was not my rotation to serve, and I was very out of it. My coach was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, I don't know. And my vision was kind of black and patchy, so that scared me a bit. And so they took me out, and I flew home and went to the hospital.
Wow. Well, let me stop you there and tell people that the way we knew about this was that I saw Elizabeth playing this past winter, and she was wearing a soft helmet. And knowing that we were working on these stories about concussions, I visited with her and her dad, and they said, well, yeah, and her older sister's career ended because of concussions. And then Elizabeth had her story, but she has had concussions also. And Elizabeth, if you would tell us what's happened with you, I'd appreciate it.
So the first time I was hit was last year in May. It was at the very end of May. I was at like a kind of a practice 3-day tournament. It didn't really mean anything. And I'm a setter, and so I was playing back row, right back. And kind of the same with Catherine. The block didn't go up the line, and I was kind of just drilled in the face. And I ended up, the ref kind of allowed me to go get water because I fell over after I was hit, and then I kind of was a little dizzy when I got up. The ref let me go get water and kind of take a little breather, but I continued playing that game because our other setter was out with a torn meniscus. So I was the only option they had, and so I continued playing. That was the last game of that day. And then when I went home, I just had headaches and I slept for a really long time, and then I didn't play the next 2 days of that tournament, and I was diagnosed with a mild concussion. And so I stopped playing because I've learned from Catherine's mistake. And then I went through the whole kind of concussion protocol when I was going back into playing, and I had to wear the helmet, which wasn't that fun.
No, have you had concussions since then?
Yes, I've been hit a few more times since, but not as bad. But I was finally kind of back fully ready to play by nationals, which are the end of June, so a month later. And on the third day of nationals, I got hit again. This one was ankle, so it wasn't as bad. But I was taken out that day again, went iced, didn't play the fourth day. And then by that time, I had like a month break between club and school volleyball. And so I kind of took that time and, got back to full health after I was hit for the second time.